the NFL stands for not for long.
Set Sharga and Armstead. Roll out. Walker still running out. Looks to the left. Wide open. Thompson touchdown. Colin Thompson with the touchdown. There was nobody within 20 yards of him.
What a catch off the bobble. Colin Thompson scoops it up.
Lofting corner the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown. The first NFL touch for Colin Thompson is a score.
Too many words are left to say, so they get left behind.
Fired up today, Jackie. Fired up, brother. It is a Monday here at the Colin Thompson Show. That's me. I'm your host. Jack Connell's joining me. Producer, do it all, man. Everything we do here is brought to you by Not For Long Media. Jack, how we doing today, pal?
Doing good. Just got done a weekend of outdoor chores. I think we both did some power washing recently, and I got some staining done, some cleaning. It was nice. It was a nice little spring cleaning.
Now, is it headphones in while you're power washing, Jack? Is it listen to a pod like I am mowing the lawn, or how are you going about your business?
Stuck with my thoughts.
Stuck with your thoughts. Wow.
I don't know. It's just mainly, I don't know why I did. It's just, because I'm an earbuds guy when I'm mowing the lawn. I have a pusher and a driver, but I don't know. I decided not to. I guess my thing is I'm always pressure washing. I'm not really the most neat person. I sometimes it ends up, I just don't want to get anything soaking wet and ruined. So I just keep all electronics a safe 20 feet from me at all times. And, I guess I could use a speaker, but I was too lazy.
That's right, Jack. You know what? At least you lean into your decisions in life, and there's zero judgment on my end. Good weekend on my end. Let's see what we do. A lot going on in Annapolis. There's a Navy-Army lacrosse game on Saturday. This ridiculous spring sale, Jack. So they take all the athletic gear. You would have had a field day. Everything, every sport at Navy, and it's marked down like 80%. There's baseball helmets. There's football helmets. There's shoes like crazy. Like I've never been in a shop for size 15 shoes like that in my entire life. So that was amazing. Going through about 100 boxes of shoes and buying a pair for $30. That is $150 to $200. That was great. A bunch of sweatpants and hoodies and awkward sizes like the XLs got ran through. So the double X for me was good. Grabbed some shirts and shoes for other people. That was good. But at the end of the day, what a cool atmosphere with Army Navy lacrosse. And then Sunday, people saw me samboning, but that was just so cool. Like being here and being able to walk 10 minutes to a college sports game, Army Navy, you can't beat it. Great buzz, great vibe. It was packed. Justin Ayers was with me from Breaking Bats, our baseball show. If you guys are into baseball, we talk college and pro baseball on there. Check it out. Breaking Bats pod. And so great weekend though, Jack. Had some fun Saturday night. Went to Davis's Pub. Legendary spot here. Went to Chop Tank, a couple other places, and had some fun with some friends and some family, and got around at a good time, Jack. So got after it today, working out, a couple meetings, and we got Alec Ingold joining us. Buried the lead per usual, but Alec Ingold, an absolute legendary fullback, the people's fullback, as I call him, joined our show last week. He has a new book coming out. He's going to be doing his own podcast in parallel to that book. You can hear all this on our show that's going to come up here after Jack and I are done bullshitting and wasting your time. What else? Alex, just a freaking stud. Played for the Oakland Raiders, then the Vegas Raiders, undrafted out of Wisconsin, and then just a truly amazing story. Someone that was adopted, ended up, getting a scholarship to Wisconsin, playing linebacker, playing running back, former quarterback, and then turns himself into a stud. In my opinion, Kyle Juszczyk is the best fullback in the NFL. Ricard in Baltimore is as well. And Alec Ingold is in that category of the top 3, top 5. And Alec may be the best at this juncture because of all the things he can do athletically, physically, and his age. So, guy's a stud, signed a nice ticket in the offseason last year, 2-year deal. He's going on his second year with Miami. So, Alec Ingold, I hope you guys enjoy him. He's a tremendous human being. I met him at the NFL Media Workshop broadcast boot camp out in LA, and we hit it off like that. And it's been a blast getting to know him. And he said, "Yeah, you got a show? I'm jumping on right now." So Alec is tremendous. I think you guys will enjoy that. Jack, did you know who Alec Ingold was before we had him on the show?
Not gonna lie, I'm not good with my fullback knowledge. I really should be. I've knew the name. I didn't know much about him. I didn't know that he had joined Miami. I still remember him from Vegas. Well, yeah, I guess it was still Vegas at that point. But I hate to continue to go back. It's just such a shame that on Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, you just lost my phone number when you were in that shop with all that gear that was heavily discounted. I can't.
Hey, Jack, let me
that's
swing
terrible.
by. You want a Navy crew? You want a Navy field hockey shirt?
Well, I don't know if you could tell by my background, but you mentioned helmets. I'm always on the look for helmets, it's, we've been in these situations before with the roles reversed,
Listen,
well, I'll remember it.
Jack did purchase, I did Venmo him, but he purchased me a wonderful Jason Witten knockoff Tennessee.
That was not a knockoff. That was legit.
This is a knockoff. It's about the definition of a knockoff, but it's I guess you're right. It's a jersey. It's a fan jersey. It's not a game jersey.
A replica.
Yes, a replica Jason Witten Tennessee football #1 jersey that I'm going to hang up here in the bar. For those that don't know and want to watch the shows, I'm in my bar now, out back in our bar, I should say, out back of the house. All the memorabilia is up on the walls. So I have everything spread out throughout the walls here. Different jerseys of my friends in the NFL that I've swapped with. Just pictures of our family history. My uncle flying his F-18 in the Navy because we're in Annapolis. All the pictures of Key West, dartboard here. So I think I'm going to start pimping out this area back here a little bit. You got Teddy from Davis's Pub, the bartender there. He's got a shirt, so I had him sign his shirt. So all the license plates from over the years. I don't know. All ideas from other bars and restaurants I've been to. So come watch us on YouTube. Everything we do on YouTube and Not For Long Media and the Colin Thompson Show is brought to you by the original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge and sweet treats across the country. Mother's Day is 3 weeks away, folks. Whether you're going to buy it for your mother or for your wife or for somebody in your life who's special to you that is a female, fudgekitchens.com has what it takes to make those people happy. So go check them out. Ship the fudge yourself or pop in one of their locations all up and down the Jersey Shore from Ocean City to Cape May. All right, Jack, what are we talking about today? I think the NFL draft, right? What do you want to talk about, pal? Because this is right up your alley. Ross Tucker show. You're ready to go. You're interviewing big quarterbacks. I don't hear, Jack. We got the fullbacks coming on, undrafted.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like this show's had more of the big name quarterbacks than Ross's show. Well, we think we've had what? Heineke. Sam's a guest in heart, I guess. We've had enough interactions.
He wore a hat in a press conference against the Jets. I don't think it gets any bigger than that. The video of him wearing the hat was like, I don't know, 1 million views. So thank you, Sam. We love you for that.
But yeah, I mean, this draft is really interesting. As one anonymous GM said today, nobody has any idea what's going to happen. I feel like by at least this point, you kind of have a sense of like, all right, this guy's going to go, and then the next quarterback is going to be this guy, and then this will be the next quarterback. It always seems like there's some set order of what quarterbacks are going to be going. The one thing that has everybody in a frenzy is Houston. Houston, for like the first month after the season, it's like, all right, they'll take Stroud, like whatever. Then for CJ Stroud, Carolina picked up, like, all right, well, they'll take Bryce Young. And now they're back. It was back to Stroud. And now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I think it was FanDuel or Caesar's odds have Will Levis as like the heavy favorite to go number 2. Houston saying they're not going to take a quarterback. Could be Will Anderson. They could be trading back. And it's just, I think that's what makes draft night so fun. Is just the uncertainty of it all. It's a boring draft when the first, like the NBA, it happens a lot. Like the first 4 picks are pretty much decided and the draft starts at the 5th pick. Like, it's just, even like as much as Bryce Young's talked about, like he's really not necessarily a lock at 1 either. Like, I feel like there's been other years where it's like Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence were penciled in from January. Like, it's fun having this uncertainty of who's going to go when, what can happen with teams that have multiple picks like the Eagles, teams that want to trade up like Tennessee. Like, it's going to be an interesting.
Do we know
night.
They want to trade up? We have no idea. That's my point. This is all a crapshoot and drama for NFL media to have something to talk about for 4 months. To me, it's all a bore fest. I can't wait to get to the draft because the draft is the best time of year in the NFL off season. It is fun. It is exciting. It's an amazing moment for these kids that have worked extremely hard. It's an amazing moment for these college coaches, the guys that recruited them, the gals that recruited them, the families, the player. It's amazing. your goal is realized. It comes to a head. Now, the work, of course, is doubled and tripled when you get to pro football compared to college, but nonetheless, you reach the goal, you reach the pinnacle of your life in a second. It happens like that in one phone call, whether you get drafted or undrafted. And Jack and I have talked about here before, a third of the NFL is undrafted. That's 53 active rosters. That's on the active roster, 53 man. So it's out of the 32 active rosters, a third of 52, the players are undrafted. So that's a huge number. So it should be interesting to see how that's all going to work out. Sorry, Jack, I saw something here that the Titans have not got any calls whatsoever. And that's why I was a little distracted there.
For Derrick Henry.
I
didn't mention Derrick Henry. I said the trading up.
We'll see what happens. But listen, here's what's happened. It's a race to the draft. It's a race to the first round. It's so fun. It's so long. The picks are way longer than whatever X amount of time they have to pick. My goal for this draft is not to use my phone and try to watch it, because you follow on your phone, you find out everything before it happens. It takes away from the fun, in my opinion. It's like, oh, I follow this one Twitter account who is a security guy in the back that knows that everything happens before it happens. Like, yeah, okay. Like, I get it. You want to be the first on the scene. You want to be Jack Connell tweeting away. Look what I found. But I kind of like how we can enjoy the reality TV show that it is and embrace it and have some fun with it. So I'm excited for the draft. That's what I'm looking forward to. For me, there's a lot of really special moments around this day, and I was undrafted. But you would have thought when we celebrated and we were down in Cape May, New Jersey with close family and close friends, and there was 30 of us there, or whatever it was, you would have thought I was the first pick overall. I signed a signing bonus with the New York Giants for $4,500. I fielded, which is a very low number. I fielded probably 20 calls the week or two before the draft from teams, and my agent and I at the time were very interested in that and obviously very excited. But my agent was like, you may end up getting drafted. I interviewed with Nick Caserio and the New England Patriots in person. Again, this is a long time ago, so I can talk about that publicly, but probably never been talked about publicly. Interview with the Patriots, and that threw me on my heels. We thought I was going to be a barely undrafted tight end, and now I'm a part of these meetings with some of these teams here on discussion of possibly getting drafted by that team. So that was really humbling and really fun. And I remember on draft day in particular, the third day, my phone's starting to ring in the 6th and 7th round. Hey, listen, we have a pick here. We may take you. We may not take you. All that drama that you always hear, but really they're not going to take you. They just want to show you love. So when you're a free agent, they can recruit you just like you're back now in college again. So it was between, I think, the Rams, Oakland, at the time Raiders, and then the New York Giants. So they were the teams, and it was a no-brainer. My agents, Giants, were all over me as an undrafted player. That was the year they drafted Evan Ingram, and my agents kept pounding the table. I think the Giants are the move. The Giants are the move. I know they just drafted a first-rounder, but we think that's the best thing for you. Great. Trust them. They're great to me, and it was the best decision I ever made. Became a New York Football Giant. While I was in Cape May, New Jersey, a friend of ours, John, ran out and went to the local sporting goods store and bought everything in that place that was New York Giants blue. These are all diehard Eagles fans too, so it shows you, how special some of my family and friends are to me and how great people they are. And we went to the Seaview, which has been the bar of the week on the show many a times after partying at the house, and we closed the Seaview and some. And we sang and laughed and danced like, again, I was the first pick overall, because it is a grind. It is crazy, and I don't even put into words, because the journey it takes you, particularly that I went through, and a lot of players go through, and it's not the prettiest. It may look pretty at times from the outside, but it is a pure grind and a pure climb of a mountain just to get there, and then to stay is a whole other beast, which I found out. And that's how this media company was born. When I got cut not too far later, and NFL stood for not for long. So I know a very long-winded answer, but draft day means to me, it's the pinnacle, it's the goal, it's family, it's friends, it's thanking all the coaches who helped me along the way, because without them, I'm not here. I'm a product of my environment. So that's what it means to me. And it's been a hell of a ride. So I digress. A little emotional there for me, Jack. Bring back some good memories, pal. Bring back some good memories. What else we need to talk about today, Jackie?
Did you get to your bar of the week this week?
Well, I want to talk about our friends down at Shots and Giggles. The bar of the week always here at the Colin Thompson Show. No matter what we decide, Shots and Giggles is our bar of the week because, man, oh, man, oh, man. It is the local spot in Key West, Florida. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. It is truly, truly the best spot to hang out and have a good time, order some food, hang out with some friends, get off the beaten path of Key West craziness and just enjoy and relax and hang out with Danielle and Ashley and the bartenders and Steve and Hanya and the awesome crew there. Great locals, great people. Shots and Giggles Key West. Check them out. Yeah, Jack, I mean, I guess we'll get into the bar of the week. Anything else NFL draft-wise before we move on? And then we're going to shut this puppy down and kick it right over to Alec. Tight ends, big-time heavy at tight end drafts. I've talked to a couple tight end coaches around the NFL, a couple scouts around the NFL. This is a group that they are really bullish on, from blockers to pass catchers to dynamic athletes, different shapes, different sizes, high pedigree, big school, small school. The NFL draft has a lot to offer this year when it comes to the tight end position. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm excited to track it. Is there going to be more tight ends taken, Jack, in the first 2 rounds, or quarterbacks? Let's do that.
I'm trying to think of the tight ends. Michael Mayer, Dalton Kincaid.
I think there will be more tight ends taken in the first 2 rounds than quarterbacks.
I know. I'm trying to give a running list of the top tight ends that would go. What's his face from Iowa? I don't know. I think there'd be equal or same. I think it's pretty much a lock.
Equal or same. Jack, you got to make a pick. Gun to your head. More quarterbacks or tight ends taken?
Tight ends. Just because there's only 4 quarterbacks that are really. 2 tight ends are a lock for the first round. One's a fringe first, second rounder. And he's got to hope for one more to tie it. Because I don't see any other quarterbacks. I mean, there's Jake Haynes, there's a couple of guys that are like pushing for like the late second, but between Levis, Richardson, Young, and Stroud, they'll all go top 10. And I think it's pretty much going to be it for a while.
Hooker, first or second round?
I don't know.
Probably second round,
he's
right?
He's getting a lot of looks. I feel like he might be like a Jalen Hurts, like goes around like the 40s or 50s, or I think Desmond Ridder went around that range too. He might have been a 3rd rounder though.
So we'll see. I'm going to go tight ends. Jack goes tight ends. We'll see what happens. Way to make it fun podcasting, Jack, and agree with me. Good job. The bar of the week this week on the Colin Thompson Show, brought to you by the original Fudge Kitchen, fudgekitchens.com, is an awesome place in Cape May, New Jersey. Mayor's Tavern in Cape May, New Jersey. The old Mayor's Tavern used to be the dive bar, but the owners, the founders of the new Mayors, have done an amazing job cleaning it up, making it a premier spot to hang out, have cocktails, enjoy the beautiful weather, a great little part of town right when you come over the bridge, right across the street from the Lobster House. You can't beat it. Awesome service, awesome management, fantastic food, clean bathrooms, great vibe, live music in the summers, outside seating, inside seating, dancing and fun. Absolutely love Mayor's Tavern in Cape May, the bar of the week this week on the Colin Thompson Show. Food and ambiance, it's a 5 out of 5. It's a smaller menu, a leaner menu, but lots and lots of good stuff. The kale salad, again, a salad. Come on, bro. The kale salad is elite. The appetizers are elite. Their burger is going to be one of the best burgers you're ever going to have. Love the burger. Food and ambiance, 5 out of 5. Drinks, 5 out of 5. Service, 5 out of 5. And TV's a 3 out of 5, which I think is perfect because it's not a place where you want to watch games, but they have one TV. So they'll pop the Phillies game on there so you can follow it. It's not a massive TV, but it's just big enough so you can peek at it and follow it, but still enjoy drinks. So I almost want to give them a 5 out of 5, but I don't want to break my rules and my tradition. So 3 out of 5, still a great number. 18 out of 15 for the bar of the week this week at the Colin Thompson Show. Mayor's Tavern. Love this place in Cape May, New Jersey. All right, Jack. GEEK, baby. I'm going to the Washington Nationals game. Boar Fest on Friday. Not the Phillies, baby. No, I'm excited to go to the game. I'm excited to see the ballpark. I've been around it many times. I've halfway committed to going to games many times, but to go to a game, I'm really excited to do it. Right in the Navy Yard there, a really cool spot. to check out in and around DC. So excited to check that out this weekend, Jackie boy. That will be on Friday. SeatGeek, though. I'm punching in promo code Colin Thompson because I won $20 off our tickets, $50 or more. So we'll see. Promo code Colin Thompson, SeatGeek. Check them out. What else we got, Jack? Promo code Colin, COLIN for Som Sleep. Get some sleep. Get up, rise, kick ass the next day. And then Actions Over Words, our friends at Actions Over Words Apparel. Check them out. Guys, that does it for me. It does it for Jack Connell. Anything, Jack, before we let you go? What do you got this week, Jack? What else on the menu before we let these fine folks finally listen to us, shut up, and go to the Alec Ingold interview? Christ.
The NBA playoffs have been heating up. That's probably about the only other real interesting thing going.
The first round is garbage.
Well, no, it's heating up because the garbage first round series are ending. And true dogfights are Golden State. If you haven't been watching Golden State Sacramento, you're missing out.
That game started at 10:30 at night, Jack.
Change your sleep schedule. You got Som Sleep. You can get to bed.
Listen, just because you're making a plug of one of our sponsors doesn't make it right. I'm not watching that. If you're watching the NHL playoffs, the NHL playoffs have been ridiculous.
Well, listen.
Whether you like hockey or not, we have goalies fighting players. We have ridiculous goals. We have superstars. They're staggering the games now this year. So there's one at 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant.
That's what the NBA is doing.
I know, but it's boring. You get touched when you go to the line. It's a foul every time.
You said it yourself that you watch playoff basketball because the whistle gets tightened.
I watch it next round. I'm not watching this crap.
All I'm saying, if you don't watch any other series, watch Golden State Sacramento. The type of person you are and the type of basketball you enjoy, you will like it. That is,
I don't want guys knocking down shots. I'm done with 3-point shots from half court. I love the game. I think they're beasts. I think Steph Curry's a monster. But it's like he's fun to watch. But everyone else, it just, I don't know. You're right. You're right, Jack. I'm going to watch. I could be hypocritical.
And just for an entertainment perspective,
watch
that
hockey.
And I was going to say Grizzlies Lakers is also a very fun series. Okay. Pissed off LeBron. It's fun. It's must watch.
LeBron, greatest athlete of all time, not the best basketball player of all time. I think that's where I'm standing.
I think we've had this argument many times. We both, again, boringly lie on the same line. I think one more ring and he pushes himself in front. But
I think you can have 4 rings. I think you could have 4 rings. I don't think rings matter to me. I'm talking pure eye test. He has 4.
He needs 5.
Whatever. He could have another 4. My point is the true eye test. What's the eye test tell you?
Well, I mean, eye test.
The eye test tells you he's number 2 and LeBron and MJ's number 1. Everything included.
Well, again,
I'm talking greatest athletes to walk the planet. Walk around.
Again, we're not disagreeing here on this one.
But being number 2 is pretty damn good.
Yes. I'm saying, I was just saying, when you look best basketball player, you have to look at accolades. And then MJ's better. And I think the biggest outlier is the rings. And LeBron has 1 more. If he could do it at age 38, 39, playing the way he is at that age.
He's never lost in the finals either. To me, that's it. He never lost.
LeBron's also played in twice as many finals.
But he's lost like 75% of them, right? Or 70% of them.
I think he's 4-6. I'd rather you're saying you're not gonna guy down because he's made it to the finals many times.
I'm just saying you can. I'm a LeBron fan as a player. Don't know him as a person, but from all I hear, people like him. I think he's number 2, Jack.
And I agree with you. I'm just saying, if the Lakers win this season, that changes the conversation.
And we'll follow that on the next episode of the Colin Thompson Show. That's Jack Connell. I'm Colin Thompson. I hope you guys enjoy Alec Ingold episode. All really good stuff. We don't have to really use it yet, but if we have to, we have to.
No, this is the Yeti Blue Amazon special. We got the most intricate information in the world. The best, what do you call this stuff? Hardware, software?
We're going live right off this. We're just going to continue to roll the show just like we always do on the show. Complete and utter chaos. Alec Ingold joins. What's going on, bud?
Fuck it. We'll do it live. I'm good, man. We first week of phase 1. So you get 4 days. You're with the boys. We're from like 9 to 1 right now. So it's only 4 hours, but like film, weight room, you're with the boys. Vibes are high. second year in a system, second year at the same facility. That's only happened one time before in my career. And it's like, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, dude, 4 years in the league, you're playing at a high level, and you've been in 3 facilities just because of like a, transition, new coaching staff, whatever. It's just like the circumstance of the NFL, dude. And it's like one offseason continuity, and the boys are like, the vibes are high. Going golfing tomorrow with the running backs, freaking hype, dude. Like, just, I don't know.
So for context, Alec has played for the Oakland Raiders, drafted, or you were drafted?
Undrafted squad. Let's go.
What was your signing bonus?
You ready for this? Are you sitting down for this one?
Let me guess.
Yeah, I want you to guess.
4,500.
10,000.
No, see, I don't want to hear it. Mine was 4,500.
You guessed
I'm an
your
old
own?
head. I'm an old head.
Your own?
They've doubled.
Okay, yeah.
They've doubled.
Inflation wise, we're about the same.
Look at that.
California state taxes is basically 45.
Yeah, you and the state tax. We're going to get into that in a second. But Alec was with the Oakland Raiders, then moved to Vegas. That's what he's talking about, moving different facilities, different coaches, different systems. And now he's going 2 years in a row in Miami. No state income tax. Thank you very much. Keep the change. Okay, so who is the best golfer out of the running backs?
We go tomorrow, so we're going to see. And if I'm not, I'm going to be a little upset at myself, I think. We have 4 guys that are going that don't have a set of clubs. So that's that's where the boys are going for great vibes. We're going for team bonding. If we make it through 18, I feel like that's a success.
And you guys are Monday through Thursday down there, correct?
Monday through Thursday, 4 days a week.
Oh, man. I'm looking forward to signing with the team here soon.
Hey, dial up the Dolphins. Hey, coach, be ready to go here.
I'm ready to go, man. You need a scrappy veteran tight end that's extremely cheap. I'm your guy. Also had a lot of fun at the NFL boot camp. That's where Alec and I met, and making fun of Michael Burton, the people's fullback, the entire time.
The fullback of the people, Michael Burton.
I'm literally just making
glorious hair I've ever seen. There's never a hair out of place.
It doesn't move either. I wonder if there's any product in there. And here's the thing with that guy. He thinks he's like the worst player in the NFL, and he's been 9 years in the league. So again, it's like my media company, Not For Long Media. C-Mac's like, bro, you're on year 7. Like, it's not for long anymore. Like, drop the act. I'm like, no, screw you, bud. I still only have two credited seasons.
I mean, you talk about the average. So what is the average actually? So it's 2.2. Is it 2.2 credited seasons, or is it 2.2
seasons
overall?
I think it's 2.2 credited seasons, which sounds about right, because if you do the math, if you have 2 credited seasons and then you play 2 games, you're 1 game away from your pension. And some teams will not give it to you. They won't make you active, or they'll cut you because they don't want to pay your pension.
Wow.
That is fact. I've heard that from multiple people, not just like some disgruntled employee, like from players. I've heard it from front office. I've heard it from coaches. Yeah. It's a dirty part of the league, man.
Dirty.
Okay. So vibes are high in Miami.
Yeah.
What do you think of Coach
McDaniel? One of the most authentic human beings in the world. Like, you see everyone sees the clips. Everyone has the little reels, the highlights, him talking with Tua, joking around. I had a little NFL film spot with him because he's like, hey, man, that time the guy tried to tackle you and then you didn't let him tackle you. Like, that was cool. And like, that's what he said on the sideline. Like, it's cool and it's funny. Dude has a very high standard about how he approaches. So like, that's how he's able to be so loose on the sidelines, be real with the guys, be in the moment. It's all about being intentional. I really, really mess with that stuff. Like, I love being in the moment, the mindfulness, the mindset of preparing your tail off, process oriented, and then go on, cut it loose in a football field. Like, fullbacks are probably one of the easier guys to buy into a system and a culture and all that. But like, the way he does it, I really do think it's just real. It's who he is. And he's not trying to pretend to be anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You talked about mindset, and I think that's unique. Again, just like working your ass off, and then you get to the game and you have to really work hard at this. I had to, like, just let it go, just let it rip, let the training happen. There's going to be mistakes. How long or when did that point hit you? Because it hit me probably my first year in Carolina, 2020, after playing pro for 3 years.
Yeah, I think it was really about the same time for me. Like, I really started to get my footing year 3, where I started to be a leader. And it's like undrafted fullback, and then all of a sudden you start getting some confidence. You start just being yourself around the guys. You start having real conversations and not not BSing one another, like actually you talk about locker room talk, but like you actually care about the person next to you. Like it's kind of you gain respect over a few years of being in the same system, in the same organization, whether you're moving places or not, and kind of sharing through those adversities and going through all that stuff together. Like being yourself and being vulnerable kind of helps you be a leader. Then you rip an ACL, you tear up your knee. That's where all the mindset and mindfulness, like I was pulling out every Ryan Holiday book I could, every self-help, I'm following Gary Vee and every entrepreneur. And I just learned this thing about intrapreneurships. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
So there's this whole concept of intrapreneur, and it's like being an entrepreneur within your role of an organization. So like you don't have to be your own business. You bring all of those principles into your role, master your role, same principles, but it's your job. And
so do your job essentially.
is the Bill Belichick do your job, but like the creativity and the tenacity of an entrepreneur while you do it. And I feel like reading all that stuff, falling into that world in between year 3 and year 4 is when I kind of just went into that rabbit hole.
Yeah. And you were coming off an injury, right? So,
Yeah.
you go to that dark place. It's very interesting. You find yourself, you find who your teammates are, your friends are, you find what organizations believe in you or not, right? That's a lot of it. And then back to your point of just getting settled in somewhere. I felt this year in Carolina, even though I didn't play because I popped my calf early in the season, I was able to really have a great leadership role. And that's a lot of reason why I believe that Carolina kept me around. But I wouldn't have been able to get that if it wasn't for dealing with the COVID year and then the next year. And then, tight end trip to Key West back-to-back years and all the dinners and the Top Golf and all the, different charity events, like investing in each other, because in college you're used to doing that. And then when you get to the pros, half your locker room turns over every year.
It's literally, I think the stat is like 33%. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's higher than that. I mean,
I think there's an actual
of the active roster, but if you take the 90 man,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I look around and say 50 of these guys are going to be gone.
Yeah.
43 or whatever, 45 is going to be gone next year.
45 is going to be gone. And then, I bet you it's 33% of the active also turns over. So I can't even imagine those numbers. But yeah, it's continuity you're talking about. Like that just doesn't happen in the league. It's not a good thing or a bad thing or different. It's just different. It is what it is, right?
I think you see the dynasties over the years. Back in the day when there was really no free agency, like Pittsburgh and Dallas, like those guys couldn't go anywhere. So you see a lot of sustained success, and then you see New England, a lot of the same characters when they had it, obviously all around Tom and the coaching staff, but very similar characters, similar players, similar personality traits. I think it's hard for dynasties to make it in this league because of that. Obviously free agency makes it harder, but that's why, because guys are on the move. You can't build continuity.
Yeah. I think growing up in Green Bay, you saw that. Like, when's the last time Green Bay's been out of a playoff picture, dude? Like, and you just grow up. I was born in 96. You have Brett Favre win a Super Bowl in that 96-97 season. And they went on a run all the way through to that transition where he went to the Jets, and then Aaron Rodgers comes in, and now they're going through that entire cycle again. But it's been, 25, 26 years since they haven't been in it. And that's like some sort of sustained success, like you're talking about, within an organization, how it's run. You have different GMs, you have different head coaches, and people are able to plug and play because of the expectation and the standard. And nowadays, when the Dolphins, we're in a spot where, man, we're trying to reset that. We're trying to stamp our own thing. Like, the logo of the Dolphins when Dan Marino was playing is not the logo of the Dolphins now. And it's like you have to bring in that culture and got to get guys that can buy in quick, because you might only have them for a year or two or whatever the contract is. So going all in is like way more important, I feel like, where your feet are at now versus ever. And like that's how you have success. It's not like going and grabbing every single guy you can. No, it's like the dudes that are in the building, they got to be bought in. They got to be dialed in. It's like those little inches of football, dude. Like that'll never change. And I feel like that's where getting guys to buy into a place and all kind of rally around a leader, whether you're top dog, you're a Tom Brady quarterback, or you're a fullback that's undrafted, or whatever the case may be, to be able to find those people. I think that's what wins football games nowadays, I think.
No doubt. And like you said, being where your feet are, that's the fastest way to do it. That's the quickest way to turn around, in my opinion, because there's so many things that are pulling you as a player, whether it's off the field stuff, guys have shows, guys are married, getting married, kids, whatever, real life, social life. There's during OTAs every other weekend, guys are on a bachelor party here or somebody's getting wedding there. Like that's true. Like people are out Thursday night. It's like a sprint out of that parking lot. But when you are there from Monday to like Thursday morning, can you dial in some great points there? So you're born and raised in Green Bay. It's the football Christmas wonderland. That's what I took from it.
It's football Jesus. It's like Notre Dame football, but like NFL version. I wore my Packers jersey. Vonnie Holiday, number 90, was my first ever NFL football jersey. I wore that thing so much. Like, dude, I have pictures in flag football I was wearing. I was wearing it at church. I was wearing it at school. I was wearing it wherever. You couldn't get that thing off me. Being able to go to a William Henderson show as the fullback, number 33, big old neck roll, played there for a decade, right? And like getting to see that dude on a Tuesday night on his off day, and you're a kid just running around, just like staring at these guys like, oh my God, you know, it's William Henderson. Like that's the type of people and role models that a community was built on, dude. That's how I grew up. So to say that like hey, do you like the game or do you love the game? Like, dude, that's all I've known. You talk show radio, we're at the broadcast boot camp and they're trying to figure out if you know the players, you know the stats, you know the roster. And it's like, dude, you watch the games, like any national broadcast game, it's on. NFL Good Morning Football, NFL Network, it's on. Like, I think that's just a lifestyle you kind of get raised on up in Green Bay.
What's your favorite thing to do when you go home in Green Bay? Is there a local mom and pop shop? Is there like a local bar? Is there like a local? Because again, I'm talking to Dan Arnold, who's a Wisconsin guy, and Dan's like, I go to this place, I drink a 6-pack. Man, Dan's a different character now. He's a legend. But you know, is there something that when you go home, you're like, man, this downtown Green Bay's got this great spot I love to go to, or this place that reminds you of just home?
Yeah, man. I think Anduzzi's is like a little chain down there, and great sports bar. You got the one up by the stadium, but then you got one right next to the high school, Bayport High School. Got to show love there. You got the jersey up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of vibe it is. But you grow up in a small town, Wisconsin, like the entire community is based around the high school. You know, the downtown area is starting to like pick up, but that's not what it was like when I was back there with all my boys. Like you want to see the people that you want to see family. And then it's like, it's the high school, man. That's what runs the show down there.
So you're this tweener because you're 6'1", what are you, 235, 240?
235, yeah. 232 today.
A little leaner.
Out of the steam room.
Okay, the steam, good. Steam. Now, are you a steam or sauna guy?
Sauna was under construction today, dude. You kidding me? A Thursday? Saunas? Hey, but I will say the facilities in Miami, unbelievable. Top notch. But let's do sauna repair on Friday when the guys are out of the building. But hit the steam room today instead. You switch it up, get out of your routine. It was pretty good. Mike
Burton would be having a panic attack. Are you kidding me? I needed to get my 15 minutes in and do my abs.
They got the red light in the sauna too, so you're getting all of that therapy and stuff. Man, it's legit down here.
Yeah, I'm in there like 5 days a week, man. I'm a huge sauna guy, and Art in Carolina, they were like big time pushing it. So you're a tweener size wise. Like I see here, you're recruited to play quarterback. You committed to Northern Illinois.
I wanted to be the next Jordan Lynch, dude. I don't know if that's a name that you remember. He was.
Are you kidding me? I know exactly who that is. Quarterback. That was a finalist,
crushing it. So that's what I wanted to do. But then coaching change happened right before signing day. Coach Paul Christ, was out at Pitt doing his thing. They bring him back to his, hometown where he grew up, Madison, Wisconsin. I was one of his first offers, and it was like, all right, I gotta do that, dude. Got to go to Wisconsin.
And they offer you a walk-on spot, no?
I got offered a scholarship, but it was like
scholarship. I read something wrong. You got a scholarship, but it was for like you were undecided.
Athlete.
What position? Athlete.
Yeah. We're gonna figure it out. Just show up and we'll figure it out from there.
And then what was your progress like? Because it's always, people think in college, I tell every kid this, and then parents, my son's a wide receiver. Okay, we're gonna find out if he is. Because real quick, they know, and you could be a safety, and then 1 minute you're a Hassan Reddick. He came in as a corner at Temple, moved to safety, moved to linebacker, moved to rush defensive end. You have no idea what you're going to play. So how was your journey through Wisconsin?
Showed up, maybe 215, 220 pounds. But never played defense before, and none of that. And they're like, okay, you might be an undersized linebacker. Well, you show up in Madison, Wisconsin, they start feeding you freaking milkshakes and protein shakes. You get 3 of them a day. I went from 215 to like 235, 240 real fast. So, okay, now we're gonna get you to linebacker. So first fall camp, I'm trying to learn how to tackle, how to play defense, what a stance looks like, where my alignment is. Never done any of that before. Made some plays just because, like you're saying, football's football, dude. Like you get put in so many positions, so many contact spaces. It's just, if you're an athlete, you figure it out. And kind of got thrown in the fire, end up redshirting. Bunch of running backs get down, hurt, ankles, knees, shoulders, whatever it was. And they're like, all right, Alec, you want to go play running back? Try that out. I was like, all right, let's go. Like, I just want to get on the field. I had a red shirt, and it's like, it's cool, but you want to play. So hopped over to that running back side of things, played 1 true freshman year there, did all right. And then everybody got healthy again. And it was like, okay, we don't really need you there anymore. So why don't you, think about fullback. Derek Watt leaves. We got myself, Austin Ramish in the building, and like, all right, let's go play fullback. Let's put the hand in the dirt. Never done that before. Spring ball, I remember TJ Watt was coming off an injury. He was a tight end switching to linebacker. I'm a linebacker, running back, switching to fullback. And the dude would absolutely just get after me every single spring ball. Like, it was between him, Joe Schobert, and Vince Beagle. I was in a freaking spin cycle because one of them's like, finesse. They're moving. They're bending the corner. It's like, all right, you give up a TFL. TJ Watt's just going to run through you because he's just bigger, faster, stronger. And he's just like he's like a mammoth of a man. And he's figuring out linebacker. He turns out to be the all-world, all-purpose, all-pro, everything. And, so you kind of get thrown by, trial by fire there. And you just figure it out, man. You just have that grit, that determination. It's those cliche words, but I mean, you kind of have to get it done somehow. You got to figure it out. You got to be willing to fail a little bit. I'm sure you're out in Gainesville, like things weren't smooth all the time, right? Like, you got to figure it out at some point. Like, some point you just got to rub some dirt on it and get back in there.
I wish, man, I would have paid to be able to run some dirt on these. My feet just kept breaking. And Florida just said, hey, man, it's over. You got to go. And that's ended up going to Temple, and it was the best thing ever happened to me. But, yeah, it was tough, man. There were some low moments. But spring ball is – that's where legends are made, man. The offseason, like spring ball, training camp.
When did you switch over from Gainesville to Temple?
So I played at Florida 2012, 2013, redshirt year. So I was a redshirt sophomore when I went to Temple.
And like, was it like spring ball time? Like when you show up on campus, or was
I showed up in April? I mean, I showed up in August.
Oh,
like right into training camp. And they were like, all right, you need to take some time, get healthy. I took a whole summer. Nothing. I didn't do a lower body run or lift for like 9 months.
And then it's just training camp.
And then it was training camp. Now I didn't go through camp. I went through a whole other process they put me through. Temple did. So that was great. And they were great with that. And they were selective with that. It was almost like a NFL type player situation. Like, this guy's going to go through this to get ready to play for the season. And I didn't play till like week 3 or 4. So I was able to practice and do a lot of things, but I wasn't playing yet. There was a rep count. It was very ahead of the time of college football.
It was very progressive.
It was very progressive. And like Coach Rule at the time was very open-minded, but probably not as progressive. Like, we're doing bull in the ring. We're 9-on-7 every day. There had to be some crazy physical practice at Wisconsin. No, had to be inside run.
Inside run was half of the practice was 9-on-7. Inside run, you're getting ready to roll, dude. There was some.
When are we taking that out of the NFL?
And the thing was, like, our offense is not complex. It's not hard. But then you have top of the nation defense every single year with Jimmy Leonard, with Coach Wilcox, with Dave Aranda. Like, we had some D coordinators, dude, that end up all being head coaches at some point. So we have, run this way right, inside zone left. We got power right. We got power left. We got outside zone right, outside zone left. And it's like, it's just man on man, and it's over and over and over again. That's spring ball. That's development. That's getting your pads low, man. That's what it was.
So you get settled in at fullback. When did you know, like, all right, I'm going to be okay with this? Were you throwing you the ball? Were you running the rock? Were you laying people out? Because that's tough in the Big Ten. It's tough sledding.
Early on, I was really a backup fullbacks, but the twos would go in and I'd get the ball all the time. I loved it. Like I was catching every flat route, every wheel route, running the ball, third and short. Like the twos would go in after the ones and I would get all these touches and I loved it. Like it was great, but I wasn't really playing very much my junior year. And then senior year was kind of when the transition happened of being consistent, my job, and being able to kind of be a better version or a more consistent fullback. So that's when blocking, catching, running, all that happened. I think, scored 21 touchdowns as a fullback in college. Like that doesn't happen in many places other than Wisconsin.
You're a legend for that. You're a legend. I actually remember you coming out because we had a fullback at Temple who was one of the top rated guys in the country. And you were up there too. I would Google where his name was Nick Sharga. And the guy was an absolute menace and was probably the best football player and toughest guy I've ever played with in my life. Former linebacker, DN, like broke his arm when he was like redshirting and like practice with a broken arm. The guy was just different. And then Coach Ruleff went to Baylor and he stayed and they went to a spread offense and he pretty much went extinct. Had a tryout, rookie minicamp tryout with you guys in Vegas.
Really?
And then he had a tryout with the Giants and maybe 1 or 2 NFL workouts, and that was it. Because he just, he doesn't have the hands that you have and the athletic ability, but he's a thumper. And I think he was that good. He would have made it in the league as like a teams guy and a thumping fullback. But yeah, it's a shame. But the position is still staying strong because here's the thing. That offense that Kyle Shanahan runs, your coach runs it. Several coaches in the league run it. It's super successful, so it's not going anywhere. So the fullback's not going anywhere anytime soon. Do you agree?
Got to agree. And I think that's where you make yourself, an asset to the team. You want to blend all formations. You want to make everything look the same. You want to have some sort of cohesiveness. You watch Juice tape, man. I think he's putting on 30, 40 plays a game on offense that are teach tape. He's hardly ever out of position. He's always getting proper leverage, whatever it was. Maybe not the thumper like you were saying, but to be able to understand the entire concept of an offense and make it run and make everybody else look good. And then when you get the ball, make something shake. He's doing toe taps down the sideline. That's like invaluable. Just to be consistent, be that safety blanket, to be able to make an offense move and adjust the way you need to. Like we were talking about earlier, that's how teams win games. And that's how you're able to kind of, in the new rules, we're protecting quarterbacks, we're scoring more points on offense. Like those types of things really help up the percentages of no matter where you're at on the field, you're going to be able to score.
I believe Juice, did he win a Super Bowl with the Ravens?
I don't know.
Did he win? Let's just Google it for old time's sake. Juice check. Good luck spelling that one. Because, and again, this is horrible podcasting, but I don't really care. God bless spelling this one. Here you go. Did he win a Super Bowl? He was drafted by the Ravens in 13. When did the Ravens win a Super Bowl? Ravens Super Bowl. Somebody's screaming listen to this right now saying
2010, 2011.
Oh no, so he got to take the year after they won the Super Bowl. I remember watching, I thought I was thinking about him. I'm thinking about somebody else. I remember watching Delaney Walker in that offense with Colin Kaepernick and them, and he was just dogging people, playing like H-back, and I'm like, who is this guy? And then everybody knows him now from Tennessee. He caught a bunch of balls, and he's maybe retired or may not yet. But I digress. A little nugget here, man. You have a book coming out. Talk about the book. Talk about the audio book.
Little 7 Crucibles. Wrote it while I was on a training table. Basically got, ushered out of the Raiders facility. And now you are a fullback that is unemployed and you have a lot of time on your hands and you can't really walk and you got your identity stripped away from you for a little bit. And it's like, okay, now what? How are you going to respond? I feel like that's one of those self-help books. Like, can't control what happens to you in life. You can control your response to it. And after sulking and feeling bad for yourself, like, you got to pull yourself out, dude, whether it's family members, friends, some sort of positive way to be able to stop digging a hole and get yourself out of that thing and start being back on, standing on what you believe in, your full potential. So I start journaling, start writing. A lot of guys say, you break a foot over and over again, you have an ACL, whatever it is, you have a rehab. Let's stay consistent with the rehab. Let's get your emotions out of things, right? And then let's journal. Let's stay consistent so that every day you show up, you're ready to roll. And that journaling started turning into some sort of self-help book. I started realizing I knew the answers to the test before I took the test, before I needed to come back on the field. I knew the path forward. So, man, that's really what I got down to, was like, let's answer these questions to the test. Let's put together, let's figure out how we're going to get back from point A to point B. I'm going to write a book on it. I'm going to give it to other people so that they can do it for themselves, empower them to be the best version of themselves. But it kept me accountable a little bit too on like, this is how I'm going to come back. Finished writing it in July. I hadn't stepped on a football field yet. I was like, all right, now we got to go. I know it's going to be published in February, March, April of 2023. It better be a good story. It better have a good season, because, I already wrote this thing and this is exactly what I'm going to do. And to put together, career highs coming off an ACL in a new system, new offense, new state across the country, I think that was a big piece of it. And I feel like that's where there is some sort of validity to it now, right? Like, man, the dude wrote it. This is the blueprint. This is the game plan for overcoming adversity. Now, how can we empower other people to do that in their own lives? So that was the premise of the book.
Powerful stuff, man. Now, was any current teammates or former teammates involved in that book, writing stories, or what was the involvement of the kind of the football culture into the book with maybe just teammates or some people?
So every crucible has a story to it. And it was really progressive, or it progressed along a timeline. So, first crucible is really about, purpose, right? So you try and figure out your purpose or defining your why. I think that's a common theme in NFL locker rooms and corporate culture, whatever you want to talk about. Know your why, whether it's family, whoever. So you have stories behind defining that. Mine was my adoption story, which is at the very beginning. But then you kind of relay that into the ACL current timeline. It's like, okay, I need to get back to my why and connect to that why to move forward. And that was, a conversation I had with Derek Carr. And he's like, dude, Mamba mentality. You got to decide how you're going to embrace this opportunity, embrace this change. Things aren't going to be the same, and that's okay. That's life. But that conversation is a part of the book. That's where you have teammates that are NFL stories, real life, in the moment, like raw emotions that you're feeling at that time. But you're also relating it to the process of growing up, of making it to the NFL. And they kind of go piece by piece throughout the book, all the way to current day and in that 7th crucible.
That's awesome, man. So where can people find it?
Anywhere. Amazon is like the #1 place. If you order, I bet you, Colin, you could, hop on there real quick. I bet you it's on your doorstep tomorrow morning.
Okay.
It's the power of Amazon, dude. I'm telling you.
It's incredible. It is ridiculous. And we used to joke about this, right? Like as kids, like run around like, oh, they're going to be able to order something. The 7 crucibles comes right up.
Look at that.
Here it is. I'm going to order it right now.
You said 3 days?
No, let's look. Free delivery Friday.
Tomorrow.
April 21st. Add to cart. I'm going to buy it right on this show just to prove it. Like,
I think that was under a minute, dude. You might set a record.
Everyone says, I'm going to buy your book and support you. And they never buy your book. Supposed to see, boop, there's the right address. Tomorrow, done. This will be the first book I ever read. I've never read a book in my life. Seriously.
Cover to cover?
I've never covered a cover. I mean, I've read books and chapters and schoolwork and all that stuff. But like as a kid, my worst nightmare was like the summer reading. You kidding me? I had more anxiety and stress about that than playing in a freaking NFL game.
Dude, I'm telling you, you get this book on Friday, guarantee you a coffee shop, either Saturday or Sunday, you finish it. 1.5 to 2 hours.
Okay.
Like that was the process. That's the concept of the book. Like I wanted to write it so you actually want to read it. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to write it and just like make sure the pages were long. Like no, font's big. It's 120 pages. You can flip through that thing and you feel like empowered by the time you leave. Like if you show up at a Starbucks 11:30 on a Sunday, like, got the shades on.
Support local business. We're not shouting out Starbucks.
Okay, yeah.
Local coffee company.
Local,
let's go. Annapolis,
we're getting
Maryland.
a cup of Joe. We're getting a cup of Joe, right? Yeah, no doubt. We're going right there. You spend 2 hours there, some shades on outside, getting, circadian rhythm going, like get the sunlight. You're crushing this thing. You're done by lunch.
I'm not in South Florida, man. Not everyone can afford, and you're not paying state income tax now. How wonderful is that? Dude,
it's amazing. Moving from Oakland with that rookie minimum contract to then that second year Vegas no state income tax. I got like a 14% raise. No, like a 17% raise from just moving.
And everyone listening is like, oh, you guys make a ton of money playing the NFL. It's not the case for a lot of people. Alex on a second contract. So jack for you, bro. But that's, again, that you have one or two of those maybe, and that's it. You got to make your money now. It doesn't last forever. And we play high impact positions. Every position is, but some are more than others in fullback and tight end. So when you make your money, you got to stash it away. And when we played back-to-back weeks in Houston and Dallas, I was so happy. Playing down in Florida, we played in Miami a couple of years ago. I was inactive, but was on the active roster, which is wonderful. So no, it's good, man. I'm so happy for you, bro. Where I want to go here as we wrap things up. How about some fun stuff? Where's your favorite stadiums to play in the NFL?
I played at Lambeau my rookie year, and that's up there, dude. And I feel like that's biased, and I feel like that's a cliche answer, but that was literally I think half of my hometown was in that stadium. And none of them were wearing Oakland stuff, of course. But it was like a perfect fall day too. Mid-October, late October. It's the best place to play football in that environment.
I love that. Now in South Beach, are you out and about? Like, how's this working in Miami? No, you're up north, aren't you? You are, which I love. It's great.
Yeah, I'm straight suburbs. I'm west of Fort Lauderdale, and it's going to take me 45 minutes to get to Fort Lauderdale to get to Miami. But like when family's in town, like we'll go to the beach or whatever. But man, it's such a hassle with traffic, everything like that. You're 15 miles away, but it's going to take you 45 minutes to get there. Like it's unbelievable. I didn't grow up like that, so I'm not used to that. You know what I'm saying?
You're such a Wisconsin boy, you can't help it. That's great, man. Let's see what else. Best player in the NFL you like to watch? Or just not best player. That's a poor question. What's your favorite player like to watch in the NFL? For me, it's George Kittle.
I mean, I think we already talked about it. I think it's Juice. So I think we're both 49ers guys. Like to watch that tape.
I watched that tape. I watched the first half of their games. Now, all your tape is that because Coach came from there. But I watched the first half of their games. How much crazy shit have you seen on film from fullback and tight ends, like missing blocks, someone else picks it up? Like the normal fan would never see it. And that's why I almost want to go that route because I'm like, man, you got to watch this. It's insane what these guys do.
You're cleaners, right? You have to be able to know your assignment. You have to predict what's going to happen on defense, right? You have to predict all these blitzes. You got to figure out what's going on. And then at the end of the day, someone's going to miss their block. You just got to get the play started. So you're running full speed, heading to the right. You're crossed over with that left leg because you're really, long stride, and all of a sudden a 3 technique, bringing up and under. You got to put that foot in the ground, somehow get in the way so your running back can get the play off, quarterback can get the ball off. And to see some of the body control these guys have it's unreal.
You guys added Jalen Ramsey. Who else? Who's the best player on your team?
How do you answer that question? Because
who's the best guy? Who do you look and you're like, yo, this guy's just stupid?
I think you show up to our practice, you could know nothing about football. First time ever seeing the sport, maybe like, oh, number 10 is really, really, he's the best player. Like, he's really good. He's really fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the Tyreek Hill effect. I think he helps Jalen Waddle. I think he helps Tua. I think Tua helps both of those guys with his accuracy. And then on defense, you have a guy that a lot of people don't talk about, Jalen Phillips. He is always in the quarterback's lap. I don't know how many pressures that he had last year, but it had to be high. Like, he didn't get the huge sack numbers, but dude was getting off the ball. You bring in Bradley Chubb too. Christian Wilkins is an absolute handful on the D-line. Zach Sealer is like run defender. He's going to two-gap you, swim. It's our front four are pretty special.
Going to be a good year in Miami. Under the sun and no state income tax.
Hey, no state income tax. All of the humidity, though. We're going all the way up on that.
What's training camp like there as we wrap things up?
I was told to bring 2 cleats out to practices because you're going to sweat through your first pair. And it did not disappoint. Like,
guys are cramping left and right?
A lot of IVs, like a lot of liquid IVs to like get going. You have to. August and September down here, you have to get IVs, hydration, any which way. And I think our training staffs are really good at that. But I had never gotten an IV before a game. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, this is like, you need to. You're going to be out here. It's 95 with 95% humidity. You need an IV. And I'm running around there feeling waterlogged and I can't move, but didn't cramp.
For those that are going to buy Alec's book, talk about the podcast you have going out with. Can you talk about that?
I think we can. Next week, first episode on a Monday. We're 4 days away from a launch of Forged podcast. So Forged, Crucible, side by side. I didn't get to do the audiobook voice. little upset about it, but it is what it is. And so now we're going to do a little side-by-side, open up the book. I'm not reading from it, but I'm going to tell you the stories behind it. I'm going to give out some quotes to really kind of paint pictures while you're reading the book or while you're reflecting on the book, to be able to kind of see that and be like, okay, this is really what was going on. This is what happened. This is why you put certain things per chapter. And we're going chapter by chapter for 9 weeks. We're going to rip them all out, and it's going to be really fun. So I think it's just a different way to kind of experience the book, experience those stories in an audio version that's not straight up somebody else's voice reading my book.
I love that, man. That's so strong. Again, check out the book, check out the podcast. Before we wrap, what was your favorite part of the NFL media workshop? What do you think you did the best? Now, for those at home, Alec and I were put through a series of workshops for 48 hours, and then the last day, the final hour, we were called to the mic, suit, tie, hair, and makeup. I got a good picture of Alec and I next to us. You can see this here. I'm sure we'll clip it. And we're rocking and rolling. We had to call a game on radio. We had to call a game on TV. We had to do a podcast, and we had to do a analyst desk pregame show. And I say had to. It was an awesome experience. It was one of the most first-class experience I ever had. But if you had to pick one of the four, what do you think you were best at, and what do you think you'd like to do the most?
So I have my answer. Do you have your answer?
Yes. Mine is the radio color commentary. The podcasting, of course, everybody does them. Everybody has one at this point.
I have the same answer. The radio, the play-by-play, the analyst, the painting a picture, describing football while someone's listening. Like, dude, that's how I grew up. That's how I loved listening to games when you couldn't go. You're in the car. And I feel like it's fast-paced. You're in and out, but you're also giving so much energy to the game, right? Like, you feel the energy. You're part of it. I feel like that was the best of both worlds. I felt like, is that kind of what you get 20 seconds to explain some of the greatest athletes doing some of the greatest things on turf, right? And it's like, it's a blessing to be able to do stuff like that, dude.
It is. I called 20 plus games when I was in and out of the league my first 3 years at Temple University. I called the games. It was incredible. The juice I had leaving the games, the experience I was getting in marketing, was giving me something to do to stay in the game, but also train and during the week to stay relevant. So absolutely love the radio. And our radio guy was fantastic. They were amazing. It was first class. So I want to ask you before we go, but Alec Ingold, you're a legend. We hit it off right away, and a pleasure you coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me, dude. I appreciate it. Following up, dude. Let's go.